Hello, and welcome to today's episode. We will be looking at a compilation of men detailing how they knew their wife was the one. And if you would like to see more compilations like these, they are under the title Compilations. Hopefully this dialogue meets you well and that you enjoy it.
How did you know your wife was a one? Beautiful mix of chemistry, compatibility, X factor, and when you meet your ideal partner, in a certain way they can do the job of being your partner. Some people, despite how hard they try, even their best efforts, they can't even do your bare minimums, such as communication. With your ideal partner, they will do it so easily and flawlessly, it's like you're made to be together.
All right, so a lady wrote in to our live Q&A asking this question. How long did it take y'all to know you were each other's person? Some folks say God told them, and others say it gradually revealed as they date. Okay, so for me, I'm going to speak to you as the man. I knew who my wife was soon, right away. Within the first 2 weeks, I had an idea of who she was and possibly could be to me. Okay, and I treated her as such because I wanted to get to know her. I pursued her intentionally because she was hot, not only in how she looked and her physique, but her character, her nature, how she presented herself. I said, oh, snap, like, who is this woman? Like, I have to sort of continue to get to know her because she appears to be a jewel and I won't let this go. So I got to know her over time, and what I was looking for was how consistent was her nature, how consistent was her character, how consistent was the woman she was presenting to me, because I loved everything about her. And at some point, I had to make a decision. And the decision was not whether she was my wife or not. The decision was, is she actually the woman who she has represented herself to me this entire time? And that was a fear that I had in marrying my wife. I married my wife in faith, by the way, and to the glory and grace of God. My wife today, a year and some change after marriage, is the exact same woman who she was the day that we met. So, glory be to God for that. And listen, I'm not the only man who thinks this way, by the way. Men are afraid of making mistakes in marriage, in dating, just as women are. Okay? Men do not want to marry the wrong woman. For a man to marry you, or for a man to propose and marry a woman, he has to value her in that way that he will lay down his life and all of his resources and all of his energy because he thinks she is worth his life. Okay? And a man isn't going to do that for everyone. He has to value you in that way. So to answer your question, how long did it take? I knew my wife was a wife very quickly, within the first 2 weeks for sure. I just had to make sure she was who she said that she was, and she was the woman for me.
Part of why I do this is I believe the role of the husband is being devalued more and more. So more single guys don't find the value in why they should be husbands. So if I can have sex outside of marriage, if I can have a baby, and be a father, then why should I commit? Right? Which is a valid question. And so I think it's the responsibility of those who are in the game, husbands, to then try and raise the value of why it is that dudes should aspire to be married, right?
Picking like your partner, I feel like every time you look at your relationship, there's that moment where you is like, this person's the one. And especially when you're into like investing and buying property, you're looking at it not from just a love perspective, probably who can build with me. What's the first thing that she did when you was like, this lady is going to help us build this thing together?
You need a partner that sees growth, has got foresight.
Yes,
is the key thing.
that's the word. Yeah.
Foresight, because there's going to be people that are here to just like use you and dash you. Yeah, I spend my money and I spend your money.
Yeah.
And that's, I think one thing I clocked in Antoinette early doors is that she's got foresight and she respects the growth and she's a hustler herself, innit? I mentioned in uni, did small hustle. At one point, I wasn't making any money in it, but I was still spending like I was making money. Now in uni, when you get broke, you can get really, really broke.
Yeah.
Like you have to
Down.
call for Lifeline.
Aye.
Like,
Yeah.
Bank
Bro.
of mum, bank of dad.
So it was a thing where I was just getting by in it. Like, I don't even know where the next meal is coming from, bro. And it's bad money management. And you learn from these things as well. Imagine you're making an income stream. That deads for whatever reason. Or your expenditure, which was high expenditure, is continuing. So all of a sudden you're realizing that, rah, I ain't got peas for like
Yeah.
champagne in the clubs no more. Antoinette could see that.
Yeah.
And she looked after man. Assess the person, not what they're doing right now. Assess the graft, because graft often pays off.
Yep,
You get what I'm
yep,
saying?
yep.
So I guess in that stage she noticed, but she was there.
If she can
Foresight.
see past where you are now,
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
Antoinette's seen so many versions of me. She's been with me, contributing to the growth, and I think that that's where you need to be at when picking a partner. I think that you just got to pick someone that is willing to grow with you, sees the foresight, sees the plan, 2-year plan, 5-year plan, 10-year plan, whatever it may be, basically.
So one of the things that my wife did when we were dating, and so God is like, God's intellect and wisdom is just it's unlimited. So the way he chooses to do things sometimes, oh man. So when I met my wife, one of the things that my wife did that really caught my attention is, and singles, listen to what I'm about to say, because I think a lot of singles, sometimes we get so caught up in the carnality of our flesh. She look good, she got a big butt, or she got a certain body type, or she make a certain amount, or he make a certain amount. We get caught up in that and we miss what God is actually saying and what God is trying to do. So one of the things that God did when I met my wife is he began to reestablish identity.
Okay.
So one of the things that my wife did that really caught my attention when I met her was we would be talking and she would say, "You're a leader. You're a man amongst boys."
This is the litmus test. If anyone wants to get married, I call it the desert island theory. Desert island theory is this. If you were stuck on an island with food and water and you could live there the rest of your life until you died and never get off that island, and you had a choice of one person to be on that island with, who would it be? And then it was Kiki, of course. And then at that point I realized I'm going to propose.
Yeah.
You have to answer the desert island theory.
Yeah.
Then you found something.
So I was really excited to do this one. I get asked like, how did you know that your wife was the one? And the best explanation I can come up with is she just made me want to be better at everything. Better at communicating, better at being a man, better at being a provider, better at being a parent, better at trying to figure out how to love her, better at being selfless instead of being selfish. Being with her made me realize how selfish I was and how much I needed to change that. She made me want to get myself mentally together, figure out what traumas am I dealing with, like what is going on every day. She just makes me want to be better for her. And I'll say definitely most importantly is the love like I have for her made me, turn back to God, because I knew I needed help and guidance on how to love her properly and how to guide my relationship, how to guide my family. So, and I will always be grateful for that. God used her to get to me to love her properly. So I'm just, trying to love his blessing as best as I can. So again, she just made me want to be better at everything. That's how I knew.
Thanks for listening to today's episode, and stay tuned for more.